Well, it's same thing. It doesn't matter if we put something that tall. Something that tall, we're not going to be able to maintain because we get over that height requirement of 8 feet that you got to have special insurance for, and licensing, and then training, and all that other good stuff. Because it's going to be on a berm. And where does that 8 foot start? Obviously, if you're in the swell and you got to get up there, you start at that swell. 8 feet's going to be 4 feet up the.
So a lot of this we can discuss with the landscaper when we get to that point, but with that being said, when we'll see what the county says as far as reimbursing us for the damage they caused out there. So,
The single best thing could happen to our golf operation, besides, redoing the greens above, all that kind of stuff, is owning this building.
oh, absolutely.
Totally agree.
It's just been, and once again, Andy's not a bad guy. I know he watches this. I don't want to think I'm calling him. He's a good guy. He's a businessman. But it's just a pain in the neck. Like tomorrow, we got to do the urinal, like the urinal gate. It's been going on for months up there, We had a Gatorade bottle. The urinal's dripping into a Gatorade bottle. We're dripped into. So I finally got Panther Plumbing to come out and fix tomorrow. Getting the water shut off, it's just a pain in the neck. By the way, I need the water shut off tomorrow.
Which I know, and I have a note to that, and I wanted to ask you, can we do it inside the building? Isn't there a valve up in the ceiling? The reason I'm saying that, Lord, can we shut the water off to the bathroom from the ceiling?
Right, you gotta go in there.
Okay, good. Because the reason I say that is I can shut it off from the outside, but I'm shutting off the water to Duffy's coolers, their kitchen.
The only place that shuts off to the pro shop is in that room in the back next to the washroom.
It's a soda room. They have soda.
Yeah, it's a soda room. You gotta get up in it. You gotta have
Can we get into it? We have access to it?
an 8 foot, yeah, you gotta have about an 8 foot
Duffy's
ladder.
gotta be there. Hopefully the
Lift
chef
the
will be there.
panel off and the valve is up there. When they put that in, I mentioned to the people, that is not the place to put it in.
You want to go?
Not getting into logistics.
You guys can figure this
What he's
out
going to be
on
doing.
your own.
Yeah, that's not part of the
Yeah,
meeting.
this is, so, if you guys
Yeah, I
can do
don't
that
need to
tomorrow.
know how to shut off the water.
Because we ever had a leak, well, just like when they were closed for so long, we
Right.
couldn't have got to the valve.
Right. Okay, so you guys can work on that.
Point of that story is,
If we own the building, we could redo it.
right,
Because
yeah.
we're on our time.
We get to redesign it.
Yes, we can redo it.
Can we have keys to Duffy's? I could go in there tomorrow first thing, shut it down, and just went into a conversation.
That's right. So, okay.
So chew on that.
So this is food for thought. We'll bring it up again next month at the meeting. Let's see if we are, just think about it. And we'll discuss it next month, but I think this is a great opportunity to get all of this stuff in one nut, get everything done, so we're not putting the landscaping out 5 years, or we're not putting, with the roads out, and I think it would be the best way to do it, and then you're paying for it while you're here. It's a 30-year bond, and like Chuck said, the rates are great.
2023, they're going to start going north.
Yes, so, oh yeah, they're going to go up. So, okay, so now we've done that. Okay, traffic engineer to review the stop signs?
Yep, they're putting together a proposal.
Okay.
There's 2 different ways to do it. You can do the traffic study with the counts, but then your side road load has to be about the same as your primary road load, which is probably not a problem because it's a closed system
Right.
for the most part. But there's also in the uniform traffic guide that they use an opportunity to do it based upon visibility.
Okay.
So he's going to put together a proposal on that because he believes that's going to be the better way to get that done. So
Okay.
just putting those stop signs in without a traffic study is not something you'll be able to do. You're going to have to be able to prove your case through the uniform traffic code, so.
Right, okay,
So I should have that for you at your July meeting.
okay.
Stop signs where?
Along Stony Brook Golf, along the Big Road.
Oh.
Yep.
So, okay, the financial statements. The general funds, we're doing fine with that. We have money to pay everything. The general fund. I had no questions with that unless somebody else does. Jump in at any time. The debt service, we're good with that, and the residents have 4 more payments. I made a payment May 1st, so the residents have 4 more payments, and that will be done. Last payment is May of '23, and everybody seems to be paying their taxes, which is nice. The irrigation fund, like I said, we currently due from the golf course is $133,000 down to $249,000. So that's great. And we're transferring the general fund rather than giving it back to us. It's going there in a month. So we should have that paid off. What did you figure, Jeff? A year?
About a year.
Unless we find extra money we can give you, but at least we're getting it down there.
Yep.
So we'll have money for the pump house.
Yep, and time for us to spend it on the pump house.
That's right. Okay, the irrigation fund, miscellaneous was up to 215%. Do we know what that was? Miscellaneous for the irrigation fund?
Something probably got,
Miscellaneous?
no, not understood, or maybe she didn't understand exactly where it went, but figured it might have been, did her best to think it was something and put it under miscellaneous just because she didn't know.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of for $3,000.
$3,000 in the current month, yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, it's a big
Yes.
nut.
Chuck, do you want to ask her, or should I get
Yeah, you know, while you guys are going through that, let me look into some of these AP runs and see if I can identify it.
Okay. The water supply, you seem to be high. You need
The what?
the water.
Yeah, I think this was a very, very dry season, so.
So the water is higher
Yep,
Yeah, we talked about this.
than before.
Yeah.
I think both usage and cost.
Yeah.
yeah, they're bumping the cost a little bit on us, so.
Yeah, so I'll account for that. The cash balance as of last Friday was $612,883,000, so we're in good shape. I keep monitoring it year over year, and last year there was 2 weeks, I guess Lucy was, or Lori was been on vacation, so I don't have that, but we're well above where we have been over prior years, so we're doing a good job there. That's all going to be great. And okay with that. For the consolidated report, we are right now still at, we're at $117,000 over budget, so you guys have done a great job with the revenues and with the expenses. That's what's
It almost sounds like it's outside the building.
that was right there.
That's your cell phone.
Yeah.
No, someone's coming from over there.
So did I, that's what I thought. It sounded like it's coming from over here.
Okay, fine. No, it's outside. It was my phone. Okay. It's weird. Okay. Okay. So, I did have, still looking something up. No, I'm just looking through this. Did you have any questions? I mean, I'm looking at the revenues, the concession stand is doing great.
Well, I have one thing.
Yes,
If you look on page 12, under PGA staff revenue, it shows 6408. That's actually miscoded. I gotta talk to Lucy about changing that. We're selling a PGA pass. For the South Florida PGA.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, and that's what that is. I mean, we
Okay.
haven't contributed that much.
Yeah, because I was looking at, that was the other thing that I questioned, we're way over on that one.
There's other stuff that's in the wrong spots too, right there, Jeff?
Yeah, there's a couple things. And they don't seem to pick up this Andy's on a regular, if you see that 375 at the bottom under miscellaneous,
Yes.
that's actually Andy Scott, and Andy Scott's paying us $375 a month. And that's throughout the year, so.
So that's on miscellaneous, and that needs to be put up to Andy.
Right,
Put it down below.
Okay.
so, yeah.
All right, so now the PGA pass, where should that be going?
We should probably put it under miscellaneous in Pro Shop. We could put it under bags and accessories, we could put it anywhere in there.
Okay.
But it should, I don't know, when we put it together, Bobby asked me, he's like, put it under PGA miscellaneous, and he put it under PGA staff. So
Okay.
we'll get it squared away.
Okay, get those were
I'll get it straightened out.
the question I had there.
Because there's actual costs involved in the books, and we're not making strictly X amount per book, you know. It needs to be in Pro Shop.
Okay.
Just like any item.
Okay. Oh, Jeff, I wanted to ask you the telephone. You spoke with the gentleman about the telephone?
Yeah, that was in payables last week, and we approved it for payment, so
So we have a new phone system?
we don't have it yet, but we'll have it.
Will, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the alarm, okay. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, the other thing on page 15, I need to talk to Lucy and get a breakdown of what's still in the uncoded. It's $15,000. We got all the payroll out, but I don't know what else is in there. So if you email her and ask her about your two, could you ask her to break down the uncoded?
Right.
So we can do that. Other than that, I think we're doing fine with the financials and the expenses. Does anybody have any other questions? Okay. The revenue bonds are paying them. We've made the May payment. They're set for November on page 17. We're doing fine with paying off the bunker renovation. So that's going fine. After that, you can go to the minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the financials?
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So let's go on to the minutes from the meeting. I have nothing on page 1. John, you removed all that on line 62 to 65. You removed the fourth.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's been down for,
Have you stopped in to look to see? if-
yeah, I haven't seen any, since the last time I stopped in, it's been about a week and a half, I haven't seen any new activity.
And nobody's came to claim any of the...
It's too late now, because a lot of that stuff's gone.
Okay.
We've kind of
Used it?
distributed, we actually used a lot of the plywood for the wood we need for the vaults we're building for the sub-air.
Good.
So come in quite handy.
Came in quite handy.
Just as one of the guys borrowed the tarp that we took down from it, and he used the tarp today, I used it yesterday.
Good.
It's been working out pretty good.
So that was really, beneficial to
Yeah,
us.
I mean, I feel bad for him, man. There's a lot of money in material, especially now.
Yeah.
That's probably, I'd say I pulled away easily $500 to $600 in material.
Yeah, I mean, you would have like 4 or 5 sheets of plywood.
You know, they had the post, the treated post, those panels, those corrugated plastic panels, the tarp, yeah.
Yeah, Chuck, I don't know how often South Florida Water Management would go in and look, but they did cut down a couple trees.
It's, I mean,
No problem.
They don't go in very.
they were saplings
Okay.
at best, and then some fronds off of palmetto,
Okay.
nothing.
Oh, they're not really concerned about a palmetto.
Right.
Start touching the cypress trees, then you get their attention.
Okay, all right, so we're good with that. I just wanted to make sure that we didn't need to do anything else with that. That's all I have for page 2.
I've been noticing a lot more walkers on the golf course. So maybe that's an email blast for me to put out. A lot more.
There have been.
A lot more.
You're talking about non-golfers.
No, I go in the morning when we start to mow and it's pitch
Yeah.
black, you know?
Yeah.
Like coming off of Sheridan. A lot of people walk down that street and then they pick up on the path. I had one lady give me the stink eye yesterday, and it was funny. She was walking with her friend, and they were coming off of the main drag behind 11T, cutting through there, down the path, and I'm coming with the mower, and I see him. I'm just gonna wait and stop. And she's just looking at me, talking and scowling, like you can tell she's, well, what is he doing coming down here?
Oh, dear.
And had that look, and her friend just had that, like, kind of, I'm sorry, you know. And
Well, I did for the July newsletter, I did put a portion in there because I did see 2 kids on those electric
scooters,
scooters.
moped, yeah.
Right, so I took a picture of, only by, you're not allowed on the golf course, whatever that sign says. And that's in the next newsletter.
Good.
So, but I will get an email blast out with regard to that as well.
I saw 2 kids on 3 throwing rocks.
All of our new rocks are cleaned up and everything,
Yeah.
chucking them in the pond.
So I went and had a discussion with them. I haven't seen them.
Good.
Hopefully you weren't throwing them at your house.
I was just gonna say, like you didn't get one through the
Looking
window.
at it across that way, those are big rocks.
Yeah. Well, that's what,
Hey, mister,
when
what
I
do you have?
see
One
them
more
out on
yard
the
free.
I hate to say something, because, so Kenny said, just go over to the neighbors and I'll see you. Yeah, it's not really nice. Okay. Oh, you're installing it. Anything else on page 3? Okay. Discuss the fencing. I'm looking on page 4 or 5. On page 6, line 204, it should be Terry Merrifield and Lloyd Sebi. And nothing on page 8 or 9.
We have a change on page 9.
Yes.
On line 297, where it says a 30-day, he wants to insert first, 30-day first, right?
Okay, thank you. No other changes? Can I make a motion to accept the amended minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Would you have anything from,
No, the only issue that Tony discussed with me first was the letter to the county, which it sounds like you all approved, so we'll go ahead and get that out. And then the second one was the discussion about the building, and Chuck already gave an update on that, so that was all we have to report.
okay, thank you very much. I hope he's enjoying Alaska when you speak with him tomorrow. Chuck?
I have nothing additional for you.
Okay, the irrigation, I was looking at that, I was interested, we're only down to 2 delinquent accounts.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I remember when I first got here.
Not doing this.
So, and John, as I'm looking at it, there's some zero consumption.
No, we're up to date. We are completely, these people right here are all on the list.
Yeah.
We'll cross-reference, like I said, we usually go to about $2 and down.
Yeah.
That's when we start and check all those. This is I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is the most amazing list I've ever seen. Like, that's how up to date this thing is right now.
Yeah, so that-
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing even here to worry about. It's summertime, most people aren't, they're not gonna get a lot of, high water bills.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of these people are locked out, controllers are broke, unplugged from the wall. It's just the same.
So we're good with
Yeah.
all that.
There was some big ones have you heard from anybody?
The big one, no, I haven't heard from the big ones. I don't call.
Address yet either, so.
We just try not to poke that bear. Hey, I noticed your water bill is high. Yeah, it was, as a matter of fact.
so.
Now, that irrigation we were talking about, I don't think all that was the total, was it? That total 13,000 was for the golf course. When we were talking in the expenses for the general fund?
Oh, no.
Right, because I was like, say, we haven't used that much water.
No.
There's no way. It said like 13,000 and change, but I don't think all that's golf course.
13, I thought it was 3.
For what?
Oh, here, I'll show you, in the financials, then maybe I just misunderstood what she said, but
Oh, 3,000 additional, yeah. It's just coded under miscellaneous. I don't know if it's water or it might be
yeah,
repair.
the affluent water supply under irrigation services and the irrigation fund,
Right.
that's what we paid, right? To the county,
Yeah.
for the water.
Yes.
Right, not what I was billed from the CDD.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No.
Right, that's what I was saying, that's all, okay.
No,
That's Lee County.
That's Lee
Right.
County.
So, yeah.
Phil, do you have anything? I'll sign this.
I got a question. You said you talked to, I just want to bring that, Andy,
Yes.
and we have to sign a what agreement with him?
A term letter.
How do we proceed?
Well, you gotta get to the point where you're comfortable in doing that.
Right, that's why,
So-
yeah.
That's why it's like chew on what I've given to you tonight, okay, and then we'll talk again in July. And if you're comfortable with that, then we can negotiate a term letter, and you can authorize your chair and staff to do that.
And, yeah, we can do that at that point, and then we'd have to, again, make sure that.
Should we put that in the agenda for next meeting?
Yeah, he's going
Yeah,
to put that on the
that's-
agenda.
Okay.
And the other thing is, once we do the term letter, then we have to look at how long would it take to do the bond, you know?
Yeah,
And just exactly what we want to keep it. Do we want to keep the wall? Do we want to keep all those other things? So what we need to do is think about it, bring it up at the next meeting, and then take it from there, because
Yeah.
it would have to be a bond to pay for this.
oh, yeah.
So,
And you're gonna wanna spend some time, because term letter's gonna spring the ability to actually have him open up the books and look at things.
Right.
Such as his books, the lease with Duffy's, all of that.
and it's not something that's going to take, 5 minutes. and get done.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not saying that. I just want to have the information when residents start asking questions.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, is it worth it or not?
Well, that's what I was hoping, that document I kind of gave you there, so you can kind of get a flavor of the big projects you're looking at. What does it mean to you, dollars and cents for 30 years?
My personal opinion out of all this, I would rather go for the building and forget the other stuff.
Well, the landscaping we need to do, and the roads we need to do, so those need to
I
be
know.
included. So,
But 800,000 for the roads, isn't that cheap?
wasn't that, what was the,
I thought it was 5 million.
no.
No, you're mostly just milling and relaying and striping, and then you're doing some curb repairs.
I have the,
It was going to be like $250 assessment a year for 6 years,
right.
so whatever.
I have the, Chuck had sent it, Chuck, you have that report, can you just send it? I don't.
Well, that's,
I never got it.
You guys haven't seen that
It was
before?
before you were on the board.
Yeah.
that's how we need to present it. Is if we just did the roads, it would be 250.
Right.
If we just did this, it'd be this, 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 and this. But if we bundle it all, it's going to be this, which is probably about
And
half.
the reason we bundle it is because if we want to do this, we want to bond it out, and a bond costs about $250,000 to do it,
Yeah.
regardless of how much the bond is. That's
Right.
just fees and all the other fees.
So if you're talking $1.5 million or two,
It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
and I've got developers that are doing it, but they're not the ones going to be there forever paying it either. It doesn't make
Right.
sense. You go private placement loan in 5 years or less
Right.
term. So now you're talking some real money when you're talking, I need 14 million of an actual construction acquisition account, which means you have to ramp that up to a power amount because you got that service reserve, you got the cost of issuance.
Once you do it, once you get it approved, how fast do you have to use it?
Generally, they like to see it used within 36 months. In this case, I think we could probably have it used in a year and a
Yeah, I know.
half. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you don't want it sitting around.
I'm thinking about the clubhouse.
Right, I mean, that's
That's-
something that we would have to
That
work
would be the longer.
with the HOA. I mean,
Yeah.
do you want to participate, or do you want to charge the residents, through the maintenance? They're going to pay for it one way or another. But doing a bond over 30 years, why should they pay 2.25 to get a bond and we pay,
It also protects, well, you're talking about just a regular mortgage on that building would open it up to the community outside the gates,
oh, no,
right?
anything.
No, the bond, it's the bond
The bond.
itself. Yeah, it's under IRS code
I got
with
you.
the tax exempt status, the general public has to have
Makes it-
access to.
Like the golf course.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Right, but they would only have access to the community. They couldn't use the pools, they couldn't use the bocce courts. they
Just the
couldn't use
community center.
basketball, They could just use the community center. And they would have to pay a fee to be able to get in.
So really,
So, I mean, what are you going to use it for? It would be cheaper just to rent it twice a year if you're having something.
It's just going to essentially be an office and conference room. type.
Chuck, can we charge whatever we wanted?
No, it has to be reasonable.
What you said?
Can we, if we charge over,
So-
we
so
do
you-
the community center, charge 10 grand if you want to come in from the
Right.
outside.
Yeah.
I mean,
But, if we need to think about this, we need to, ask the HOA. I mean, would they even want to partner with us
Yeah.
and do that? I mean, they may say, no, we're going to do it on our own, and then that reduces our bond to some degree.
And that's what you get. I mean, this helps you have those discussions, okay? Now you get some dollars and cents to talk about, so.
Right, who come up with the $5 million number?
It was discussed at the last meeting, so I threw it in there.
For the community center?
Yeah.
How big a building they talking?
I had, somebody threw it on the table, I grabbed it, and that's why it's in there,
Right.
okay?
And it may
That's
not-
all I know.
We may, when we
big
get to all this, it may be a more realistic number of 3 million.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I don't think there's a number on
are we
here.
getting appraisals on ourselves?
For what?
Are we doing an appraisal ourselves?
We will, at the appropriate time, once we have access to the books. We've already got him teed up under agreement, but because of the revenue side of it, which he has to be able to see to give us a real appraisal, we have to take a few steps to get there so he can do that, so.
Yeah, we're not just buying the building. It's included, the business will be included in that.
I know.
So, and they don't have to divulge that information until we've signed the term sheet.
And I-
So look at the numbers, see what you want to do for next, at the next meeting. I would rather, personally, I think I'd rather put the extra money towards landscaping and not the wall, because I think the wall is,
Well, the way, we're going to be required to put together a capital improvement program,
right,
calling it an engineer's report.
Okay.
We use language that's so generalized. It's going to be a perimeter buffer,
oh, okay.
which can include
A wall, lands.
fence, landscaping.
Okay.
So we use the terms that allow you a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
There's government speak.
Absolutely.
For $5 million, though, you could build something like what they got at Heritage Palms. You get a 2-story, state-of-the-art fitness center, meetings, building, rooms up top.
Maybe not, though, with what
Price of
material
things.
prices are now.
That's true.
It'd be pretty nice, though. I mean, like, you go from that fitness center to something that's like more in tune with the consumer today.
Right.
I mean, for $5 million, you should be able to build a 10,000 square foot building for crying out loud.
Well, I will tell you that my brother priced
least.
out building this shed back in November, that was going to be under $3,000, and when we went up there a couple weeks ago to help him do it, the wood was going to be close to $6,000, and that's how much wood has gone up.
And it seems like that the proposal that we saw 3 or 4 years ago was pushing $3 million.
Yeah.
And I'll say
All
this too,
material prices are
the
going up.
progress on veranda, what's that, Verandon, the new one out here by the place,
Okay.
it seems like construction is pretty much stopped.
Well,
I've seen like 4 trucks out there, it was jamming, I mean, there was people there every day coming in and out of there, and I rode by the other day, like Friday, at like noon, and I'm like, there's like 2 trucks out there.
well, you know what
It
they're
was
writing,
stopped.
they're writing into some of the new home contracts, is if the price of wood goes up, the price of your house goes up.
Sure. I got my next door neighbor's building a home as we speak, just got the roof put on, doesn't have any of the studs or the framing on the inside, and I asked him, I said, how you doing? He's like, I'm getting killed.
Well, the wood's actually leveled and actually gone down a little bit recently.
It hasn't stopped because of demand now.
It's not demand, no.
It's
It's
stopped because
Go
of
back down somewhat.
cost.
a perfect example was, I mean, up until this point, plywood was roughly $25-$30 a sheet, depending on what you got in that range. And it got all the way up to $80-$85 a sheet.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Mike, do you have anything? Chris? No emails, that's
Anything in the
nice.
email box for a while.
That's good.
Bill?
Yeah, that's good news.
All good.
Okay. I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, our meeting is